filmed that intro. It's 31 days to the race now, so it was a while ago. I've made several attempts at making another one, but I've been fully focused on training. All my spare time has been focused on rest and recovery and diet. It's the little things that I neglect sometimes, I'll admit, but just doing everything I possibly can to give myself the best chance of a successful and fun CCC. And training's going really well. I've been able to get into some solid weeks for me at least. I've been hitting around 9.5, 10 hours, about 4,500 to 5,000 meters of vert, 9,500 Ks a week for about the last 5 weeks. And that's pretty solid for me, especially in terms of vert, because of what I've got to work with here in terms of hills, which is not a lot. So I've been doing tons of hill repeats. But overall, I just couldn't be happy with how training's going. I've just been happy with how I felt, how my body's responded, especially how I felt in my long runs, which has been really good. So, and I still got 4 weeks of training to go and 7 days until I arrive in Chamonix, which I've just sort of started thinking about that now. So I'm getting starting to get excited. I'm going on my own, so I'm a little bit nervous about sort of going on my own, but it should be all good. But yeah, that's an update, how everything's been going. Got myself a new waterproof jacket for the trip. Obviously I need one for mandatory gear. My old one, which I've had for 3 years, so it's held up pretty well, but the seams have all started to come apart. This is an Outdoor Research Helium 2. Got a size medium, so it fits a bit bigger, so I can fit it over my pack should I actually need to use it in the race. That is the mixture for what I've been eating on all my long runs. I've stopped eating gels and tailwind completely, and I've just been doing this. It's basically the Engine 2 peanut butter cookie recipe. You can look that up on Google. I'll put this recipe in the description anyway, but it's been working really well for me. I'm going to try something different this time and make it into donuts, because I just got this donut tray. Alright, so while those cook, the reason I stopped using gels is they're just not something I want to eat. I've always found them sort of gross, but I've just always assumed that I needed to eat them. It's a tested and proven method. It's like everyone uses gels or a similar product. I definitely, when I started, I think I needed them a lot more, but over time I've sort of become more efficient with burning stored energy, and I don't need them so much. But I've just been thinking a lot about all the races that I've done, the ones that have gone well and not so well, and just trying to pinpoint basically where I've gone wrong in the ones that haven't gone so well. And the common thing is I always get a sick feeling or nauseous. It's always late in the race, and I'm pretty sure it just comes from overdoing the calories. Just putting too much in, my digestive system just gets to a point where I can't process it, and it starts trying to reject it, and that makes me feel sick. And I think back to races that have gone really well for me. I'll use Bogong to Hotham this January as an example. Training for that race, all my long runs, probably the longest one I did was 4 hours, but I didn't use any calories at all, just plain water, bit of coconut water, and that wasn't a conscious thing. I just didn't have any gels or anything, and I couldn't be bothered paying like $60 for a box of them. That's the other thing, they're insanely overpriced. So I just went without. I used gels and tailwind for the race, but I just ate a lot less than what I normally. I just felt like I needed to eat a lot less than what I normally would, because I think over the training block I just became really efficient at burning my stored energy. And I ate slowly, and I was intuitive as to when I needed to eat, and I just had this smooth, constant flow of energy the entire race, and it was a lot different from other races. So I just started thinking, can I go and do a 4-hour long run without using any gels or tailwind at all? So I just took out those Engine 2 peanut butter biscuits, and I probably ate about 3 of them for an entire 4-hour long run, plain water, and it's the best I've ever felt. Just smooth, constant flow of energy, no spikes, and I've just been rolling with it since then. During the actual race for the CCC, I'll probably mix it up with, like gels and tailwinds, and cliff shot blocks are the other thing that I like. I'll mix that in for variety, but yeah, it's just been working, so rolling with it.
I think that actually worked.
So that's what I'm taking out for my long run tomorrow, which is 4 hours. I just got one of the donuts I just made, which turned out really well. 2 of the biscuits. Might not need all of that, but just in case. Cut up orange, that's the other thing I've always liked eating. Coconut water. If you watch these videos before, you know I love this particular coconut water. Don't know what it is, just tastes really good. And today I went to the shop to get some. An entire box for me for $30 because the cans have been dented. So pretty stoked on that. And my pack, that's got almost all the mandatory gear in it, which I've just been using for all my long runs, just for the weight to get used to it. Going back to the old faithful, the Salomon 5L pack. It's got less bounce, it fits better than the Sense 5L, I think it's called, the blue one that I was using. And it's got a system to carry your poles, which the other one doesn't. If you haven't seen it, it's just a simple piece of elastic that can tie your poles to your back. Usually I just carry my poles, but 100k race, it's good to have the option to be hands-free if you want to for a while, so... Woke up this morning and could just tell the weather outside was terrible because I could hear it's really windy, probably cold, and looks wet. It's 25 seconds, it's still dark, so I don't really know, but 4 hour long run. What are you going to do? Neither go and do it or be a wimp. Gonna go and do it. Liquid motivation. That little bit of footage was not from my long run, that was from today, which is Sunday. Just did an easy 10Ks to finish off the week. My long run ended up being 4 hours, 2,000 metres of vert. Went well, and that sort of finishes off this part of my training block for the CCC. It's been 5 pretty solid weeks. Next week's going to be sort of more restful, easy running before I fly to go to Chamonix, and then once I get there, I'm going to get in a couple more solid weeks of training, so I'm pretty excited for that. This video is probably just going to be me talking to the camera, but I don't know, I thought I've come this far with sort of documenting this whole process training for this race. It'd be a shame to sort of just stop now. So many times I've started documenting something and then just thought, what's the point, and stopped, and then, 5-10 years later you look back on it and just wish you kept going with it, because it becomes really interesting to look back on. So if it's boring, sorry. Just realised I ticked over 20,000 metres of vert for the month, which I'm assuming has got to be a personal record. I've never kept track of it, so I don't know, but I reckon that's pretty solid going, considering, like I said, I've got bugger all here in the way of hills, so I'm pretty happy with that. Hopefully it holds me in good stead for the real deal mountains, and that's going to about do it. That's just, this video has just sort of been an update of how training's going. Next video I'll be on my way to Chamonix, so it'll be a lot more exciting.